Hi and welcome to the channel, and welcome to the back of my micro camper. I want to show you the progress that I've made in building out my micro camper, but before that, just a few points to be made. So when I say my vehicle is stealth, it truly is, and in the sense that I only use electrical appliances in here, no gas whatsoever. And so that means that I don't need vents and all the rest of it. I can shut this tailgate and all the doors and all the windows that are in the vehicle and be completely stealth and self-sufficient within here. And in that sense, I'm still able to cook, heat, entertainment with my DVD player, sort of music, whatever else I want, radio, and what else? So I've got my lighting here. I've got a water pump here with a tap, which again, all things you need to be able to do. And some people design their camper as a stealth camper, even though they use something such as a diesel heater, which isn't very stealth. I've had one in a bigger vehicle I had, and obviously you've got an exhaust sticking out the side of it, belching out fumes, blowing in the wind, and generally being very visible. And with the tick, 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 ticking of the diesel heater itself, even with, I had a, supposed to quieten it down, wrapped it in rubber thing, didn't work. You could still hear it, and if you're walking past you can hear that. So again, visible and you can hear it, so it stands out. Another thing, people put decals and things which stands it out, it makes it stand out and look like a camper. And the other things they do is they add vents on the roof, on the sides for your fridge, depending on what it is. And also, obviously, solar panels sitting on the roof. And again, I had those on my other vehicle, the type that would angle and, so you could follow the sun. But again, on a roof rack, really, really visible. And, there's no way I was going to hide that. But as I said, part of getting rid of that vehicle that I had, which people didn't like it parked in the street, so I had the windows broken, various things damaged, and a total pain. Another reason why you don't really want a visible camper van parked in the street. But being a smaller vehicle like this, you can do it quite easily. Nothing's visible. I will, saying that, possibly at some point put a low profile vent, extractor vent here, and that's on the roof just behind the roof box. It's a mushroom, low profile, as I said, and so you're not going to notice that unless you're super tall. Even so, it's tucked away. I think I can get away with that. And again, that would be mainly if I am cooking in here with something like an air fryer, which I'm yet to try. I've cooked with other products, no problem. But if I do want to take any smells or heat out, then obviously I can just use that, click it on, click it off, and that will take that out. And in the summer when it's too hot in here, same thing again. So that's why I'm thinking about fitting a vent in the roof at some point, which, as I said, will be as stealthy and invisible as it can be. So yeah, the solar panels that I've got 2 100-watt solar panels, which they're the portable type. They just fold up and they live in the roof box as well, so they're out of the way. I only tend to use those where they're visible if I'm away camping at an event or something, so there it really doesn't matter. But I wouldn't get those out if I'm parked up in a street, obviously, because that's very visible. So that's that. And what else? Considerations, what else did I make when I was designing this here camper? Yeah, it was really important to me that I could set everything up and use everything in the back of here when I was stealth camping, wherever I might be. So I wanted access to the kitchen unit here, both of these window box cupboards. So if I needed tea, coffee, food, whatever it might be, DVD player lives down in there as well, in the kitchen unit. So anything that I might have needed, I can get to, and I can sit here as I am quite now comfortably. You can fit another 2 or 3 people on here comfortably. So, you know, you can sit here having a chat and, you know, everything's groovy baby. And then when I've had enough, I can kick them out and I can put my bed up, which I will demonstrate, with the tailgate shut and the 2 side doors shut. So everything's closed. I'm here being very stealth. So yeah, so I can pull the bed out, put that up, you know, put all my bedding down, no problem. No one's going to notice. And so that was super important to me to be able to do that. And obviously not everyone can do that. A lot of the other designs of micro campers, especially the boot jump type, the commercial ones that are available, they're to me, it just takes up too much room, and you can't move about. Whereas here I can, you know, I can get stuff out the front of the vehicle. I can get in all the cupboards. I can get under the front seat if I want, the passenger seat where one of the leisure batteries is, if I need anything down there. The same with the driver's seat. I've got tools under there if I need to. I can reach everything. But with these, the commercially built ones, they tend to either fold up or they kind of fold out, fill the whole space, and it all looks a bit awkward, like someone's got to get out before you can get in if you've got more than one person. Just sometimes the way they're situated, not all of them, they're all different. But and then obviously you got to turn that into a bed as well. And I don't know, just too much for my head. And then you've got the other versions, and some of these are the same versions, where you've got a pull-out drawer, which is essentially the length of the space from here, the back, to the front seat. So you can pull that out, and you've got storage for all your pots and pans and, you know, cutlery, crockery, whatever, and food, coffee. All those things are all in there. So you'll have a drawer this side and a drawer that side. But you pull those out, great if you're camping in a field or whatever and festival. But if you want to be stealth, there's absolutely no way. And even presuming when that is turned into a bed, if you need to reach those products, you've got to open the tailgate to get at them, then pull the drawer out, figure out what it is you want, gather that up, and then bring that back in. But, you know, if that's in the middle of the night or it's bad weather, tipping it down with rain, I mean, what a pain in the neck that would be. You think, oh, I just want a coffee, or you just think, oh, I'll wait till the morning. But, you know, you want to be comfortable. So I think the way that I've built this, and I've looked at around quite a few, is probably the most versatile layout for a micro camper. And I think again, it's different for everyone that wants to build one of these, and I suggest you look around at the various designs. And you know, the good thing about building this yourself, you'll know it's built properly and it's strong. I've seen certain ones where they use ply, and they've just put the ply, instead of on top, they put it there. So when there's some weight on it as a bed, boom, and they're all split. So that's not good. But with these, obviously having a slat bed or something, I've made this in 2 sections, so it's extra strong, and you've got the storage underneath it. So it gives you different possibilities, and you can literally, before I built this, I just had a mattress in it to see what I needed and where I needed it, and then I worked it out from there. But I haven't made the mistake where I had a bigger camper van before. It had lots and lots of space, and I just tended to fill it, and I've stuff I didn't need half the time. But with this, I'll just take what I need for the event. I've got general things in here like toolkits and just whatever I'm needing, literally. But stuff I don't need, I'm not taking it. But there is, with a bigger vehicle, you're in a habit of just bringing all this stuff that you don't need. But so I'd advise you to just sit down and really think about what it is you need with you. And obviously in here, you've got all the storage that I've shown you. Oh, sorry, I've not shown you. I will be showing you. And every bit counts. And I've absolutely fine. I've always got enough space, and it's not an issue. But as I say, it's just if you figure out what it is you want, what you need, put that in a little list, and then when you're building out your vehicle, accommodate that. And just little touches that you add are really, really helpful. So anyway, I think that's my opening saute, as it were, and I'll move on to the next part of this video. Right, so on with the micro camper tour, and I shall start at the front. So first of all, I'll show you that. That's basically an emergency hammer at the bottom to break the window if you need to get out in an emergency. And then at the very top, you've got a blade, which is for cutting seat belts. So as well as that, we've got kind of made to measure PVC seat covers in the front. I should just get in and close the door. Again, they're not massively expensive. The seats underneath are clean, but I just wanted something simple, wipe clean. This does the trick. The other thing is you've got sort of sun visor, if you can see that. Overhead, they just strap onto your sides, onto your sun visor. So that's just storage for cards and bits and pieces. You've got a zip here, so you've got more storage inside, so you can use that for cables, recharging cables. As I say, anything you might need. Passport, you can fit all that in here, and all your cards and keys and glasses, some groovy glasses. There you go. All of that can just go there, and it's up and out of the way. You've just got your regular storage above, as you can see. Everyone's got that. It's just, you know, helpful added storage. I've also got a fridge in here, which I will show you. I have reviewed this previously on my channel, which you can have a look at. So you've got a little bit of storage in the back, which is where I keep this, which is a USB, that end, and then your cigarette lighter goes in there, that end. I'll show you that in a moment. So yeah, so it's I can't remember, I think it could be 10 litres or something like that. You get a fair amount of food in there, enough for me. It's, as well as being a cool box, you can also use it. It's got a heating feature, so that's at the front, and you've got an extra USB port that you can use to charge whilst it's plugged in. just as a demonstration, I've had this in the back of the vehicle for about a week or so. It's brand new. I've done it just as a test. They're only cheap from various home stores, and the idea is the moisture will basically soak up into these, and this at the bottom will usually fill up with water. There's absolutely no water there whatsoever. As I say, it's been in the back. It hasn't been locked away in that unit here. Yeah, no sign of any moisture, wetness whatsoever, even though there's been condensation here and there. Again, for condensation, I've got another simple dehumidifier here by Pingy. It's from Euro Car Parts, about £8 or something. So once this turns pink, that's time to sort of recharge it. You just put it in a microwave on low power for about 5-6 minutes, and then that will dry all the moisture out, and then this will turn blue again. I mean, it's kind of a white at the moment, so it's in between. And I just leave that there, and it does a good job at soaking up moisture. And yeah, it's not been a problem. It's been pretty good. So the other things I've got in here, as I said, with the fridge, when I'm driving the vehicle, this will just plug in to one of my various ports, which are all over the place. And so then the engine will power as I'm driving along to my destination, wherever. And then once I'm parked up at my destination, I just plug that into that, and then plug this into my lithium battery, which is under this seat, because it's got a USB port. So that plugs straight into that and just runs in the background, and no problems. What else? I've got a trusty torch here, which is good to have. Rechargeable, which again, good to have for that reason. And I've got your standard sort of stop lock, crook lock, which is highly visible from the window. And I've used these on various vehicles, and touch wood, all has been fine, and I've had no real issues with that. So yeah, it's mainly a visible deterrent. So the other thing I've got in here, I will show you, is these are thick thermal curtains, and they've got another design at the rear for my leisure time, as it were. And as I say, they're held together by Velcro in the middle, just here. Just pull that apart. And also on both sides there's Velcro as well, and that goes all the way to the floor in the back. The other thing I've got, which you might be thinking, what is that? That's just a bar going across, tied to these two seats. And this thing here, which can go backwards, it can go forwards, and it's also, just to try, and it's awkward, but I'm going to try with one hand. You pull it, oh, there you go, in all its glory. I think that's about 9 litres, and it's you got this little, that's where you put your spare polythene bags for rubbish. And yeah, it solves a problem. You can always stand that on a surface as well, so if you need it in the kitchen area, you can just stand it on that surface. Alternatively, as I said, you can just have these curtains apart and throw whatever trash, it might be peeling potatoes or whatever, straight into the bin here, or you can turn it around and do it that way. When you've got rid of your rubbish, you can just fold that flat, and there you go, Bob's your uncle. It solves just a simple situation. I did have a bin in my other cupboards, but I thought it was a waste of space. So as I said, once you're set up on a site, or if you're camping for the weekend, that's ideal. It's out the way, and you can reach your fridge through this gap as well. So all is well in the world. I think I've covered pretty much everything there is to cover. I'll say that again. I think I've covered pretty much everything there is to cover in the front of this Peugeot Partner micro camper. So now I will take you through to the rear and see what we can see there. Thank you very much. So this is a familiar sight for regular viewers. If not, you will recognise it eventually if you start watching. So anyway, I will turn you around now. And I'm now in the back of the vehicle. And literally right from the back, that's the view you see. I generally, overnight I will close that and block out the light so I can be nice and stealthy in here. So anyway, I'll show you. This is basically a piece of batten that I fitted all the way across using the original bolt holes of the vehicle. So I've got a decent solid anchor point, and all this is holding at the moment is a curtain rod all the way along down there, and had the curtains specially made, so they fitted around here and then down here to the sides, and then they tie off there, as you can see, and that's the way it works on both sides. If you wanted to put something like you know, a cinema type thing here, you can have a drop white screen and support it there, but I don't think I need that. I'm happy with my DVD player. Might get a TV, don't know, still working that out. But anyway, so that's how that all works. And this is yet more storage behind the passenger seat. In here I've just got the manual for the vehicle and all the various equipment that I've got in here, sort of solar panels, solar charge controller, B2B charge, you know, all of that stuff. That I've got manuals for everything, so if I get stuck on anything I can figure that out. And obviously that's the fridge just there that, as I said, I can just reach past if I need anything. And there's just another bit more storage there, the cargo net, and if you wish you can put that bin there, or another bin position. You can just stand it up like that, so it's kind of useful to have. This is quite a strange sight for me because I never ever open. I usually have this curtain here and open that one, so the right curtain will be here, and this one will be drawn back just for light. It gives me enough light. At the moment I've just got one screen off, and then I've got the other screens on the rear door and the tailgate as well, that's got on. So that's that. So I'll come back to the front. So underneath the seat, I'll show you one of these. I use these things everywhere. They're pier lights, so they got a sensor on them, so you can literally come and go and it'll just turn the light on for you. So down here, that's where my LifePo 4 battery 100 amp hour lives. It's got bi-directional ports, as has the second one that I've got in here, and that's just the bus bars mounted on a piece of ply with all the various wires coming off of it. And that's kind of all that lives under that seat. There's a little bit more storage at the front, but that's it. Various fuses attaching, and then that continues on. Just turn this off. Underneath here, the false floor that I made, you've got just here, you've got a B2B charger. Over here you've got a 1000 watt inverter. The B2B charger is 20 amp. 1000 watt inverter here. I got some other kit down there which I will tell you about. But the floor itself, obviously it's great to walk on, but from underneath it's ideal for mounting the various electrical products that you need. It's not the easiest thing to do because you're upside down, but when you're putting your screws in, a little tip: screw on the end of the screwdriver and then a little bit of masking tape to hold it in there as you screw it upwards. Otherwise you'll be there all day, even with a magnetic screwdriver, because you can't see what you're doing. So that's just a little tip for you. So I'll step outside now. Right, so and just show you what's occurring. I'll show you while I'm here. Bit more storage here on the door. I've put one of these nets that I don't like where I can't see it, so I've made use of the storage on that door. At the moment I'm reading Best of Bizarre. It's about kinky boots and a place in time that was more interesting than it is now. But that's another subject. Yeah, so you got a bit more storage down there. So I've just got a little alarm clock, and I've got this. This is the film on the inside, the black film, blackout film, and yeah. So that just nip outside, show you what's going on. Yeah, so out here, I'll just show you. So that is the B2B charger and all the various wires, and that is the sort of storage. It looks like a mess at the moment because I've still got to put those wires in order. I've done some, but not all of them. But underneath those wires, you've got your original storage compartment just there. The floor compartment literally built right into the floor. That lifts out, and there's one on the other side is anyone that owns these vehicles. As I say, the Citroen Berlingo or the Peugeot partner, they'll have these storage compartments in the floor, and then the space above the floor up to here, which is how I've leveled the floor as much as it possibly can be. You've got quite a bit of space again all the way across, and you know, you can use your taller items like that you can't fit in your cupboards. If you wish, you can put umbrellas, things that you might need to hand, rather than going in the roof box. You might want to put them down there. So the flooring itself, I've used the original carpet, which has also got a certain amount of insulation to it, and then over that I've used this stuff here that you can see. It's about 3.5 millimeter thick, and so that is all the way from the back across, covers the whole floor. That is the next piece of insulation, and then on top of that, this is 18mm ply sheet, and that is the main part of the floor, and I've just capped them off at the edges just to make it look a bit neater, and then on top of that, just simple self-adhesive tiles. So that's a fair few layers of insulation, and yeah, the rubber flooring stuff that you can get is really good, and it's ideal for wrapping this and making it look a bit neater than it did. Jury's out on that, but I'll take you around some of that as we move on. So where should we go next? Right, back in a mo. Yeah, just continuing on with the insulation, what I've done and where I've put it. So I'll continue on with that now. So at the rear of the vehicle, you've basically got the cover for the door itself, the tailgate, and so that's made from plastic trim, and then on top of that, on this side, I've just used the 4-way stretch carpet, which is pretty easy to work with and gives it a little bit more insulation. And then on the inside of that, when I took it off, I pretty much got as much insulation. It's the recycled plastic bottle insulation, which is eco-friendly if that is your thing. I just put as much of that in as possible, and actually when I did do that at the same time, I don't know if you can see it, I fitted this little momentary switch. That's what they're called. It's a momentary switch. You can get them off of eBay. Someone recently asked me about one of those. And then I just connected up with 2 wires, positive and negative, to the latch relay at the bottom for the door. And so it's a simple, just push it on and it opens, and that's it. So you can get out of the vehicle whenever you need to. So I done that at the same time as this come out, because really when you take this off, you don't want to do it very often, because you wreck all the clips, so they're all broken. So you have to make sure you've bought those in advance. And that's what I did. So then put that all back together. This board here, behind all my lovely memories, it's a memory board. There you go. Pink Duck Rally, that's where that was from. Ogre, that's where that was from. Piston Confused, all sorts of shows there. But anyway, I digress. So this board is a 5mm piece of ply that's got silver bubble wrap on the outside, and then on this side it's got silver bubble wrap again, and it's got some closed cell insulation as well, and then you've got the stretch 4-way carpet on it, the same as I've done here. And then just to sort of show you, I will leave you looking at that. Just get one of these to hand for you. So this is what I'm talking about. So you got the 4-way stretch carpet. That, obviously you can see that window there. So this is the window blind for that window with a slight cutout there. It's got another piece that goes on the end, so it fits around here. So you can still access your window and open it a crack, even with these panels on. They're a rigid, just showing you a bit more. So they're made from a rigid corrugated board, plastic board, the sort of board that they use on estate agent signs, which is where I found them. That stuff is really good for doing all sorts of things with when you're trying to be as lightweight as possible. So again, the way this works is first you got your silver bubble wrap reflective foil, then behind that you've got the corrugated plastic board, so it's nice and rigid, and then your next layer past that is the silver bubble wrap insulation wrap again, and then your last layer is this 4-way stretch carpet. And you know, when you're making these, just get some cardboard, put it up to your window, get it as tight as possible, and obviously you've got all your cutouts to think about, and then that's your template, so you can then create one of these all the way around. So as well as being very good for insulation, they also provide quite a lot of soundproofing, which I didn't really think about at the time. I did make similar on another vehicle, and again, very, very good for soundproofing. I mean, you can hear I'm in a residential street at the moment, so you can hear, there you go, someone slamming a door, but it's reasonably good. And so as well as this window here and this other window, the 2 rear sliding door windows have been insulated. So inside your window boxes, I like to call them. So you just got a simple latch on these. I made these myself as well. Again, it's made from 15mm lightweight furniture board, and I think I made the shelf out of ply. But here, if you can see it, just there, let's light it up a bit. Yeah, so if you can see it, you can actually put these lights there as well. This is a Mark II version, and there was a mirror just behind it, which there still is. I've got to take out, because originally I didn't have these. I had these at a later date. So the windows themselves are insulated in the same way as the other windows are. So it's pretty solid, and it does what it needs to. And obviously, if you think about these shelves whilst I'm here, I just put an extra shelf there. These are ideal if you need tins of food or whatever you might need. I've got loads of music, a radio, got some towels, a small towel, toothbrush, remote control. Oh, that doesn't live there. Actually, it does. Yeah, it moved house. I forgot about that. So I've got a plug-in USB rechargeable fan, which is, you can put it in any direction. I've shown it previously. And yeah, so it pushes the heat around. I'll talk about that later. These are USB speakers, if you wondered, and they've both got little iPods on them, which are fantastic. So deodorant, wash stuff, whatever you want, that all goes in there. And probably very similar over here. a few cups. I think that's porridge, rice. This is I'm showing these products as I go because they might be useful for you. So I've got to do it all one-handed. It's really annoying. I'm trying. So this is also USB. Where is it? Yeah, USB. Plugs in there. Little on-off switch. It's flat at the moment. So yeah. So you've got that, you know, rechargeable mirror. So when your girly or whoever wants to put some makeup on, you know, you got extra strong magnification that side and regular that side. It just folds down. Put your makeup down the bottom. Lovely. So I'll push over here, and yeah, I've got USBs all over the place in here, so no problem. And again, you know, plenty of storage in here, and you can stick whatever you like in there. Above there we have a carbon monoxide and smoke alarm. Very useful to have. I used to use gas in here. I no longer do that, but even so, it's there. It's a smoke alarm as well, so there you go. I can use it for that. So to continue, we're now looking, squeak squeak. So that there is the kitchen unit, which is behind the passenger seat on the left of the vehicle. So again, that is made from 15mm lightweight furniture board, like the whole lot of it is. And it's quite expensive, but I managed to get a deal from some guy in Scotland, which was very good. And yeah, so that's it basically. It's I'll take you through it. Here we go. So on the top you've got a little micro tap, if you like. It's got a little, you plug a USB in there, and I've got a USB that's long enough to just plug in there. So you charge that up. Very rarely, it seems to go on forever. And you can have it on continuous or a measured amount, and you just press that, and you know, nothing in there, and it makes a buzz at the moment, but that's good. So for the work surface itself, I wanted to really keep it clear of anything like cookers set into it. The only thing I did set into it was a stainless steel bowl, so I just cut out the circle for that. There's a sponge in there, and yeah, just a simple bowl. I got that on eBay for a reasonable price. I don't know, £40, something like that. And you know, you can do a few dishes in there. You can, you know, have a general wash, whatever you need to do. And the piece that was left, that was cut out from it, just acts as a lid, makes it look tidy. And you can also use that as a chopping board. And I made this unit the maximum length I could make it, enabling me still to get in the vehicle, which is kind of useful. Obviously, as I said, I can get out this way by just pressing the button. And this literally is right up against the door. I should have, you know, even 1 centimetre less, it wouldn't have been up against the door, which if I did again, I would do step it back just that distance, you know. It's I'm a little bit precise, bit too precise on that. So down here, I just used I bored out the hole big enough for a finger to open that up, because I didn't want to put handles on it, because I want to bring this bed, which is here, all the way across without it being hindered by handles. So that seemed like the obvious thing to do. Just bore a little hole in it, and then you've got, so the tap goes to this bottle, which is the clean water. That's 10-litre bottle. And then you got the wastewater from the sink that's connected, so that goes straight into there. That's also 10 litres. I've got pier lights all the way along here. So, yeah, so, you know, as soon as you, when I'm out and about, as soon as you use it, that just comes on and goes off when you don't need it. Up above, you can probably see I've got some hooks there, and I've also got around the corner, I've got little hook secret places to hang your keys and different things. But that's for gas bottles, which, as I said, I'm not going to be using in the vehicle, but may use as an emergency backup. But I might put other things in there. But it's right out of the way, and it stops things moving about when you're yeah, when you're driving. You don't want things clanging and banging in the back. And again, there's another one of these pier lights here. And so this middle cupboard is plates, crockery, cutlery, cookers, kettles, everything you think of, really. It's a bit disorganised. Got some emergency candles, you know, emergency stuff in there as well. Got first aid kits, bits and bobs. Again, so you've got that on there. So as soon as you open the door, that pier light comes on. So again, so if spin you around, so if you're sitting in the dark, which I try not to do that often, but obviously early hours of the morning or whatever, and you know, you need to, you've got that light will come straight on. As you can see, I've got them on the back. I've set them on just because I wanted a little bit extra light. I mean, I've got lighting up above as well. That's got 3 different stage lightings, and it's dimmable. So you got, I mean, that's like a lower light, an orangey one, but you got 2 other white lights, different kind of lights. And then I've got another one up there, just so you can see. And I've got loads of strange stars and things on the ceiling. Yeah, so in this third cupboard, we have a bit of everything. So we got a heater, multi-directional. That's 380 watts, which I plug straight into my inverter. And you've also got a kettle there, which is 600 watts. All right, I'm making the right mess. 2 serving trays, and then behind that you've got a DVD player. I think that's about 17-inch. Not too sure, something like that. So obviously, yeah, for DVDs, and I might stick an Amazon stick in it and power it on a hotspot. So that all works out fine. You got a didgeridoo there, or a piss pot, pea pot, whatever you want to call it. And this is a so I've got a bit of everything in here. So that's as you can see, very small but very useful. So that's a wet and dry hoover, and that's by Xiaomi, the same as this camera that I'm using. I think they're pretty good. And yeah, it's good just for in these little holes, and it sucks as well as blows, so you can blow your rubbish out as well as suck it up. And so you've got that, and I've blocked, as you can see, there you go, I've blocked this in just here all the way, and it's against this side wall, and I put this shelf over it just to protect the terminals, because so this is the second leisure battery. This is a DC House 3.0 model. It's the latest one, and that's Bluetooth as well as LED, so I can see that I've used like 1 bar on it, and it'll also tell you up here, wait there, I've got to show you, it's a bit tight in here, right, okay. So for this battery, you've got an off-on switch, so you could have a USB here, USB-C here, and then you could have a DC, and these are, as I say, bi-directional. I mentioned it when I was talking about the other battery. And so if you've got things in here where you might be charging a phone up here, or you might have the fan on or whatever, but things that you might want to just stash on top here whilst they're charging, they're out of the way, so you can plug those in there. And as I say, I think that's a 10 amp DC port as well, and both ways that goes. So all of those, they're off at the moment. Turn that on so they're all on. And again, once you get out of the vehicle, if you don't want to leave those on, you just turn that off. I mean, at the moment it tells you it's got 4 bars. I think it's got 5 in all. I haven't got my glasses on. Let me have a look. Let me have a look. All right, so I'll turn. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it's also, it'll tell you when it's charging. It's not charging at the moment. It was earlier on. So that's on 75%. Goes all the way up to 100, obviously. And then you've got all the different faults: low temperature, high temperature, OCP, OVP, LVP, and BMS fault. So it tells you all of that at a glance. And then you can turn it off. And it also, on your phone with the app that comes with it, you can check everything on there. So when your B2B charger is working, it will tell you how much it's put in, how much you're using, ins and outs of a duck squeak. And so that all that's all in here. I also made a little I've got a fuse in there. Look, can you see the fuse? Can you? I think you can. So you can just about see that fuse. That's off at the moment. That's for the 1000 watt inverter. So I can just turn it on when I'm not using it. Just click it off. So a resettable fuse. And I just put a piece of that rubber on top that I was telling you about, just to stop anything going down there, screws or whatever, and upsetting the terminals. I also blocked all this off behind, but behind there I've got all my, as you can see, if I show you at the top, there you go, dirty end. So all the wiring and fusing, some of the fusing, most of the fusing is done near the battery, but if there is any extra fusing, it's behind there, and that's all safe. Goes all the way to the floor. And I've got more of these up above, and somewhere for a tea towel. Oh look, I missed a bit when I was painting there. And oh, what's around there? Don't know what's around there. Oh yeah, so there's room for another one of those just here, or anything you wish to put there can go there. It's probably secret hook. Look, to stash your keys. Yeah, to stash your keys when you don't want anyone else to be stealing them, I guess. And I put some other little, you know, simple hooks, bits and pieces. So you got a little hook there. That's just a lighter, clock, somewhere for your USB cables, and, you know, general odds and ends, bits and pieces. And on the other side, yeah, I've got hooks. So these hooks everywhere. There's more hooks there, more hooks there. These are 1970s hooks. So yeah, there's a bit of everything going on. As I said, I told you I'll show you where all the ceiling lights and various things work. And I've also got just here, you get these people, they like their fairy lights. I haven't got fairy lights, I have got clouds to make you sleep. There you go, some lovely clouds. And there's more storage storage space to put your pixies in. And so this is the insulation that I've got in the ceiling, and I've put it across. I put it as far as I possibly could, and that goes all the way along here, all the way to the back over there. And so again, wherever possible, I've got another one here, one of these compartments, and you can see yet more foam. So I literally just put as much as that as possible as I could. I guess I could have put I could have torn this whole ceiling down and then put whatever insulation I was going to put up there. I have seen some, I'm going to turn you around again. I have seen some where they've brought the ceiling down kind of level with this. And then they've put their insulation, and presumably they put some here. But I'd rather keep this extra space back and front. So I've just used this micro trunking all the way, and you know, fitted that direct to the lights there, and just down, and that fits in here. And I've also got, I'll show you while I'm here, I've also got, oh, right, so that's the regular lights. I've just turned those off, but I've also got, oh, that, no, what's going on? Wait there, I'll get there, I've got to open the door, can't find the switch. Where's that gone? Oh, there it is. See? I should know what I'm doing, shouldn't I? So you've got these sort of lights all the way around. Got to add that to it. It's come astray. Yeah, so I've got those sort of mood lights, and you've got various switching settings for these. I'll try it. So you got that, you got that. So, you know, you can do what you like with it, literally. Oh yeah, and that's it. Just let it flash, that'll annoy you. So Disco Inferno. So I'll turn that off. But yeah, so you get these, and you get the switch separately on an adapter, and then you can kind of do what you like with it, really. All right, just turn that off. Oh, I'm all at sea. What am I doing? God, I've forgotten where my switches are. What's going on? Well, ordinarily, I know where those switches are. Right, I'm going to turn. So these are the ceiling lights. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you outside. I'll show you in a moment. There's a bit of a kerfuffle there. Sorry about that. I'm all at sea. Right, let me... So, whilst I'm still talking about the furniture side of things, something I kind of meant to say, but I didn't, was when you look, there's gaps on the edges. I can probably show you some others as later goes on. Point just up there all the way to the back and here, and I've done little cutouts as it goes from here to there. This is just plain 5mm ply going through. I made it that thick because I've got shelves on the other side here, and it's important to, yeah, you can see. So right there I've got a gap, there I've got a gap, to the side and above, although it's supporting this as well as part of the structure, I've left gaps on the interior and at the back, and up here and down there. You've basically got vents going all the way through from that end to this end, and it's the same with the bed. I've left spaces. Obviously the bed itself has got it's a slat bed, which I will show you in a bit, but wherever possible I've left breathable space so you don't encourage any mold. It's the same around these units as well, because underneath I've left a gap, and you know, even at the top, even though it's fitted quite tight, there'll be enough space just for air to circulate, and that way you're not going to get any signs of mold or damp. I've used that with other builds and it's always worked. I've used plastic vents as I go through the vehicle because some of the vehicles are a bit bigger, so just bored a hole right out and used a plastic vent over top of that, and yeah, it's done pretty well. And I haven't had any musty smells or damp, mold, mildew, whatever you want to call it. Been free of that, so that's good. That's how you want it. And something else which is pretty important, which I forgot to mention, when you're trying to find a decent earth. I mean, sometimes people will use a seat belt, the bolt that goes through it. I'm one of them. That wasn't a good idea. I tested it and the connection. This was when I just had one battery, so it's half the power. And when I decided to go for, you know, 2 batteries plus it's lithium, it's, you know, it's a higher system altogether. You really do need a decent grounding cable. And I'm going to show you these seats. If you've got a Peugeot Partner or a Citroen Berlingo, they've got 4 bolts that hold the seat down, which you take out to be able to install the battery, and there's a well that the battery sits in. So there's just enough room for the battery, your buzz bar board, the wires, cables, protections, all sorts of stuff. And then the last bolt here is where, hopefully you can see that, there my finger is, there, that's a bolt, look, I'm wibbling. So just there is where I've grounded my vehicle. All the products go to there. I tested it first with a multimeter and it was on 000, so that is exactly what you want. Obviously it'll raise slightly when you've got power going through it, but again, it was still within the right parameters. So that's for my inverter and the batteries. They're all earthed to that. And it's just an important thing that I didn't want to leave out because, you know, I've seen that as a question as well. So, you know, I'd always advise you to research anyway. I mean, I've researched everything I've done thoroughly, very thoroughly. But just for your own peace of mind, check up on my facts if you wish. And, you know, cross-check those, because I know my stuff. I've done it right, I have. And, yeah, just check all that out and see what you can find out yourself, because it's always good to get a bit more knowledge and learn how to use a multimeter and various things. So, right, I'm going to step outside now. I'm going to step outside, yeah, I think I will. I'll turn you around first. Sorry about if this camera's going all over the place. I call it an authentic. Well, there's an authentic handle. Anyway, everyone plans these things. I just I go with the flow. So here we are. So this is basically my control panel. You've seen it from the inside. So you can see the light switches up there. I'll turn those off now. So for when you get back in the dark, that's perfect. You can just turn that switch straight on. If you're feeling moody and you want your red lights on, move up to that one. So that's the lights covered. And this is just a basic capacity voltage multimeter. Voltage meter, should I say. You've also got a Type-C charger, a USB 3.0, and you've got, there you go. So that is very rough. It's not accurate, really. I wouldn't go by it. It starts dropping down here. You need to charge it, but it doesn't work that very well. It's just for the front battery only. But as well as that, I've actually got a 20 amp MPPT solar charge controller here. So you've got, again, the LEDs gives you a percentage of how it's doing. It'll let you know that it's set to lithium, which it is. This is also Bluetooth. So you can, this is connected to both the front and the rear. So you'll get an overall charge for all the information you need in the whole system. Whereas the one for the battery on the DC house is purely for the second battery. So that just gives you an idea, but that's nice and accurate, so you know. As I said, my B2B inverter, everything all comes through here. That's what this chunky wire is, but it's out your way, and that's it. And this is just an extension socket that comes direct So I'm pointing at the wire, not the thing. This is just an extension socket coming direct from the 1000-watt inverter, which is not on at the moment. Turn it off and on when you need it. And then you've got your trusty fire blanket right next to it. If you're wondering what this lead is, again, this is fused to the batteries. It's got a 25 amp fuse, I think, or a 20 amp fuse. And the solar panels plug direct into that. And I can have either one or two, and because both of the solar panels are fused as well. So everything works as it should. So I think I'm going to show you some of what's on the outs. No, I'm going to come back to that. I've got to keep it in order. So on that note, I will continue in a moment. Right, so back in the back, but not back in black. So I'm going to just show you around the interior of this vehicle again, just so you can see the layout of it. And the bed is just here, which I'm going to show you how to put up very shortly. First of all, I'm just going to show you how I get out of the back of the vehicle if I need to get out in a rush. So you've got a little button there that I just pushed, just there so you can see it. And I will show you how I set the bed up. So if you bear with me, I'll just get my third hand organised. So if I'm at an event or show and I don't want to be hidden, no reason to be, I'll just take these two cushions out. They're 5mm ply with blue cushion, and it's you can look it up on one of my previous videos. It tells you exactly what it is, but it's very comfortable. And the idea of the hard surface is that you can put it on here and put it against the back. So the hard surface is here leaning against the back. That works as a rest. And if I can just show you a little bit closer, what we've got here is, right, you can see that? Just a block of wood with a wedge, basically the kind of wedge that you stick under a door to keep it open. Got a hook on the bottom just in case in the battery pack. But anyway, so that ply on the cushion, the back cushion, rests against that and against this. So that enables you to basically have a backrest. And then just to show you how this actually works, so again it's 15mm ply furniture board, and these are just basic slats, regular size. You can get them at IKEA, various places. I've made the bed in two pieces so it's extra strong. So as I was saying, the bed is made in two sections to give it extra strength. It's using 15mm ply furniture board, and the outer shell is here, and the back as well. I'll show you, and the end. And then the interior, it's on two hinges, as is the second piece. That lifts up like that. Prop it up with a simple bamboo pole, super lightweight. Again, this is something else I will demonstrate in a moment. Just if you're at festivals where it's straw and hay, you can knock your feet off on these. Very good, very good. So anyway, the frame itself, I'll just show you. So that's fitted, screwed to the back panelling, the outer shell, so that's against the ply, and the ply is fitted down there, screwed all the way around. So that is securely at the side there and the floor, and the same with all the other pieces, all the outer shell. And I've just used slats on that, simple slat bed, and I've braced it in a way that it opens simply. So you can see, as I said, I've made it in two parts. So the middle ends there, and I've joined the two parts there. And again, that's all secure to the floor, super solid. So I will just show you. So this is how it pulls out, and it goes all the way across. Just get to the side. And again with this one, just grab it there, pull it out. It's got guides on here, quite fresh, I'm still wearing them in, but that's about right, just there. So then to make the bed up, that just goes on there like that. Actually, it doesn't go like that. It goes like that. And then this fits perfectly. Just there. You can see it's just pulled across there like that. Perfectly supported with the extra bit that extends out. And yeah, so you can just make your bed up from there. That's it. You've got this little area where you can mess about with. So again, that's presuming you can actually set it up outside with no bother. But if you want to do it when you're stealth camping, obviously that changes. So again, just take these out. In there. Hold this back into place. You can put a chamfer there on that edge and the underneath edge, which I haven't done, which I will do. Just that'll make it slide in a bit better. But I've been using it, it's been no problem. So there you go. So I'll just put these cushions back in place. Goes there. This goes there. And I'll just show you the prop from the side. So the prop that I was talking about is this here, and this rests against it. It also braces against the above block that's there. So that gives you a good secure surface. So right, I'm now back in the vehicle, and I'm trying to do a stealth camp. So because I need the light for the filming, normally these would be closed, so no one would see this. The front would be blacked out, as you've seen. And so to put this out from in here, I put that there. Simply pull the bed forward, move that one backward, And there you are. You have your bed, and this is a metre across from wall to kitchen. Obviously, you've still got access to the sink. If you leave your kettle out, you can still boil a kettle or whatever, make a coffee, anything. You can still do that. You've still got power, plug it straight in there, and you got food, ingredients, wash stuff if you need it around you, so you can still access everything. And before you do this, you'd have put your DVD player and anything else you need up here for the night. So, and the length of this is 5 foot, about 5'8". If you push the front seat forward, you can extend that. I haven't done that because I don't need to, but you can. You just add another piece of wood on a kind of hinge arrangement, and that's it. That'll do the trick. And obviously I'll shut this door that you're filming me from at the moment, would be closed, and so this would all be done completely stealthily. No one would see me here, no one would know that I'm here. They do at the moment because I'm doing all of it. But anyway, so I'll leave it with you. That's the setup of the bed. As I said, it's good and solid. It's very comfortable. I've slept on it many times, and yeah, it's great. So, and in the morning, you can either get out that side if you want, or if you're being stealthy, you put it all away first by removing that one, putting that in place. And then put your headrest there and close the door, which I will do. Right, let's step outside. So the other things I've got on here, so for storage again, you've seen the storage everywhere as I've gone around the vehicle. So that's the largest roof box I could get, which is obviously lockable. I keep chairs, tents, the 2 solar panels that I've got, the 100-watt solar panels, they're kept up there. And just general this, that and the other, what I don't need straight to hand. And then if you sort of follow me around here, so this, obviously, I've just used the film type blackout, and I'm fine, I'm happy with that. It's the same on the back door as well, a bit mucky, and follow the boats. And again, so I've used blackout film all round. The only other thing I've used is this wind deflector, which, you know, sticks on there really well. I thought it might be blown off, but it's you know, really, really strong stuff. So I've used that on there. So the reason for that is, I'll just show you. I'll get there in a bit. Bear with me. So I was saying to you, under here, you've got the 1000-watt inverter, you've got the B2B charger, you've also got a LiFePro 4 battery charger, which is all fitted in here, and it's installed with both batteries. So when it's charging, it's taking power from both, so it's evenly balanced. And also what I've not got around to plugging in yet, but I'm going to plug that into the inverter as well, and that's just a remote control. So then I can have the inverter on, I can put my remote control somewhere in the vehicle that's convenient to me, and I can just turn it on, turn it off without getting out of the vehicle in the early hours or in bad weather. But generally I just turn it off. It's got that option as well. So that's that. And this is the AC priority lead, which plugs into the inverter as well. And so you'll have it plugged into the inverter, one end. And then, let's get this out. You can do it differently by using a metal clad 2-gain, 2-pole switching unit, which I decided I don't need. because I've already got this really. So what you can do, the AC priority plugs straight into there. You've got your trip switches and everything built in there as well, and then that goes into the inverter, and then you plug this in on site, or if you wish just into general mains power in a house, garage, whatever you wish. And then so you're plugged into that, your AC priority plugs into that for the what is it, 1,000 watt inverter, and then your actual battery charger also plugs into that. So when you're on site, this will be powering to your battery charger, and as soon as you unplug that battery charger, or as soon as you unplug this, the inverter will revert back to DC power, so there's no loss. But as I say, if you're desperate and you're on a campsite and your batteries are really low, you've not been able to leave, so your B2B charger isn't working, this is another way of just charging your batteries up as an emergency. Or if you do decide, if you do use campsites, which I don't very often, it's just another option. You're there anyway, you might as well plug in, use their power. That will be charging your batteries. You'll also be using all of your accessories in the vehicle. So Bob's your uncle's living lover, as I say. And yeah, I've got these two things, as I say. That one's a bit newer than that one, but it's for different options for plugging in here, there, and everywhere. Again, that would probably live in the roof box because it's something I wouldn't be using that much. But yeah, that's it's just another thing to be aware of that you can do, and another thing that I've set up. And as I say, I'll set up my remote control for the inverter when I get a chance. That's just my nice neat box. And also, whilst I'm here, I've got another one of these hidden nets which I don't like using. You just put rubbish in them. But anyway, as well as that, I've got a decent size fire extinguisher just in case. So I'm fully kitted out for fire, and any other possibilities. I'm trying to think, but I'm hoping that has helped you out and gives you some thought as to how to build out your own vehicle. Any more information you do want to know, just as I've said several times, in the comments, let me know. And if I think of anything else, I'll put it in the description. And I think that's about that. That's about it. Hopefully I've covered everything. If you have any questions, please ask in the comments. There are also more detailed videos on specific equipment that I've used in my micro camper. If you wish to check them out on my channel, check out these last two screens. They may help you too. As well, if you have enjoyed this video and it's been useful to you, and hopefully it'll help you on your way to building your own micro camper or just general camper. And yeah, that would be great if you could please like and subscribe, maybe buy me a coffee to help me further my adventures and weirdness. That's some of the other videos, so that I can keep bringing them back to you. Anyway, thank you very much and goodbye.